People want to travel again. What should airlines prioritize in order to make this happen?
Quarantine measures are a blocking point for any air travel. So what we are asking government is to remove these travel restrictions and particularly quarantine measures, and to implement a systematic testing for all passengers as a kind of counterpart of replacement and protection, against virus transmission from one country to another, to guarantee that the pandemic remains under control and that there is no import of the virus.
Now, you mentioned about testing. So how would these on-the-spot COVID-19 tests work?
We are asking for testing before departure and more likely at the departure airport based on the new antigen tests that are now ready and available and can be produced massively. When I say massively, it's millions per day. So it's we are very close to the quantities we need. And when I say we, it's not only aviation but different sectors. They are fast enough because they last 15 minutes before having the results. So it's compatible with our operational request and compatible with what passengers can expect. They are reliable. So I think they are a good guarantee seen from health authority and seen from government. They are affordable, around $7 to $8 or 7 to 8 Swiss franc per test. And they can be operated by probably trained personnel, but not necessarily by highly skilled medical specialists. So when you accumulate all these advantages, we think that testing passengers at departure airport offer a guarantee to government that we transport people who are not infected, and to passengers that they are safe. And as you know, safety is our top priority.
Sounds like a massive task. So how can different countries and different airlines in the industry work together to put this into effect?
What we have to do is to work with government and with the airport to organize logistically, this testing at the airport, as we did after 9/11 for security, to organize the systematic testing of passengers. It can be done. We are also working with the testing of the pharmaceutical industry, which are producing these tests, and we have to organize that. Probably it will be a phased implementation, choosing countries, airports, routes, and to be deployed starting in October.
The airline industry is trying to restore traveling for the upcoming holiday season. Now, you carried out a public opinion survey on this. What did you find out from that?
We see that clearly quarantine is the major deterrent to any air travel. Nobody, something like 88%, want to travel if there is a risk of quarantine. So it is clear that we have to convince government to remove these quarantine measures. Second findings, we see that people are ready to fly again. And we see that through various surveys, but also through the experience we have. For instance, coming from the Chinese market, the Chinese domestic market is now at a level between 80 to 90% of the 2019 figures. So it means that when you lift travel restrictions, the appetite to fly is still there. Thirdly, we found that 87% of passengers, they are ready to be tested. They see no inconvenience. If testing is the guarantee that they can travel without being blocked anywhere, they are ready to be tested. That's a very strong result.
The numbers are growing rapidly at the moment in Europe, and Hong Kong is just coming out of the third wave. I want to ask you, how can mandatory testing restore confidence in traveling once again?
The confidence in traveling, viewed or seen from passengers, is there. People are not afraid to travel. They are afraid to travel if there is a travel restrictions, and particularly if there is a quarantine. They don't want, that's common sense. They don't want to plan a weekend or extended weekend or a 2-week travel if there is a risk of a 2-week quarantine anywhere. And what we have to gain and to gather, it is the acceptance of governments to reopen borders. And so their acceptance to rely on the testing system that bring safety guarantees that are considered by health authority as protective enough to avoid the reimportation of the virus in a country, or to, in other words, to minimize the risk at a level in which the pandemic is fully under control. You know, that's the point.
Okay, Alexandre de Juniac, CEO of IATA, coming from Geneva. Thank you so much for your conversation today.
Thank you very much.